Hey everyone, no matter what time or space you're in, thank you for tuning in. I will introduce myself. My name is Micah, and I am essentially the creator, curator of Life Off the Page, which is essentially living your life off the confines and definitions of this reality and creating more of what's true for you. Might be my new tagline, might not be, we will see. But in this episode, if this is your first time watching or listening in, cool, thank you. Feel free to look at some of the past things that I've done. I invite anyone and everyone to listen and receive whatever's true for them or resonates, piques your interest, cool, awesome. And whatever doesn't, you can always throw away. But in this episode, Laugh Off the Page, I'm going more of the in-between worlds, so to speak. And I will dabble into a little bit of, what's going on in the world, sort of more astrological, astronomical perspective. Just a little bit, because I'm also doing a series of different cycles, different timekeeping cycles. So if you want to check out the one I previously did before, about time cycles, it goes into that, about some different cosmologies and how they do seem to be matching of some of the things that are going on in the collective society. I'll touch on that a little bit today, or tonight, or whatever space, time it is in your part of in the part of your world. And then I will also go into some skywalking, read a poem at the end, talking about creating a new reality, how we move about the earth. It's a little bit of, kind of my theme. Do my best to be encouraging, inspiring, and, encouraging you to be more of you and me to be more of me and us to be more of us, if that's what you're invited to. Because if there's any time to choose that, to be that, it would be now. It would be definitely now. And I love how when I record, okay, so I don't know if this is like the whole full moon thing, but I had to pause a little bit and then come right back. I don't know how the recording will show up, but let's just see what happens. Here we go, taking flight. So this is what's happening, right? I know the world looks kind of crazy right now, and maybe your world is really crazy, but there is something taking off. That could be you, that could be somebody else, but I would say choose what's true for you. I personally get a sense I'm taking flight in some way, shape, or form. I can't really tell you what it particularly looks like, but I'm doing more videos, and I still write, and I'm still, doing yoga. But I'm also kind of exploring other areas and spaces of my life and myself and how I perceive myself in the world. And I realize it's very different, but that's okay. And so maybe you're in that space too of, I guess the definitions I used to use who I thought I was are changing, and that's okay. Or maybe some of you are still very sure about things, maybe not. But something's taking flight. So allow yourself to soar. Allow yourself to explore what is true for you. Because just because the world is being some kind of way, just because your neighbor's some kind of way, your family's some kind of way, your friend is some kind of way, doesn't mean you have to be that. You have to always choose what's true for you and be willing to take off and soar, whether or not people are willing to join you or be like you or not, So don't wait. Don't wait to create. Don't wait to be more of you. So keep flying, keep searching, keep exploring, keep changing. Because like I said, if you look at the way the world is, it's kind of like, but usually when that happens, it's always an opportunity. It's an opportunity for all of us to create something different for ourselves and to create the world we'd actually like to live in. And with that, one of the ways you can get incredible inspiration, at least I have, for the world you want to live in, or the other world you actually do live in, are in dreams. And like I said, dreams are give you inspiration. They can give insights on what you'd like to create in your life. They are also portals to other dimensions, other possibilities, things that have nothing to do, may have nothing to do with how your life is right now. And particularly during this time with so many different cosmic events happening, the way the Mother Earth herself is changing and the different frequencies and things that are hitting her from outer space, it might be affecting our dream world as well. So one of the things I invite you to do is to track your dreams. You can record them on a phone, write them in a journal, but do it for 30 days, see how it goes, and just see, are you dreaming? What are you dreaming about? What's the theme? Do you find that it matches what's going on in your day? Is it something completely different? Now, I know sometimes when I dream, I'm just in a completely different reality that seems to have nothing to do with my waking world. And I've spoken to some other people who have those same experiences with dreams, where it's kind of like just nothing really correlates to what's going on in their lives, quote unquote. So it's just another, life experience, but as a different character in a different time or a different space. But generally, dreams are portals to different worlds, different realms, different dimensions, different possibilities, different things, as much as they are ways that we can problem solve. If you're into problem solving, they can give us inspiration, they can help us answer questions, they can give us insights on people. I know I've gotten incredible awareness about folks through my dream times. If I didn't get it when I was awake, my dreams definitely gave me a greater insight on this person could be this way, or this situation could be that way. Letting me know if I'm in a constant cycle of the hamster wheel with a particular job, particular person. So if your dreams are not, your dreams can be anything, like that's totally out of control, right? If you are a lucid dreamer, you can, have a greater, I don't want to say control, but guidance in how you want your dreams to go. So if you're a lucid dreamer, that can be a little bit different. But if you're someone who's like, well, let's just see where my consciousness takes me, then yeah, it's like the Wild West. It's like the whole cosmos is yours then when you go to sleep, or when you're awake, because you can have daydreams as well. That's a whole nother theme. So dreams, dream time, just inspiring everyone to dream I'm not going to force you to dream, but to just invite more dreaming into your life, and the wisdom, the insight, the possibilities. What else? All the things that dreams have to offer you, or just the fun, I know our bodies cannot fly in this realm, but some people, when they go to sleep, they love to dream because they fly in their dreams. So, hey, use it as a fun opportunity as well. And just to continue more, I'm not going to, like I said, I won't mention it too much, but in the Tzolk'in cosmology, we are actually in the Jaguar sequence, white Jaguar or wizard. This, as you see, is a panther. When I created this Life Off the Page project, I didn't know when I was actually going to be speaking on this. So it is a bit coincidental that I do have this picture during the Jaguar sequence. All that stuff will be in another episode. But for now, I do have this panther. And just as I'm going to say it, she is what I use as a representation of night wisdom, which is another element of dream time. And there's a lot of wisdom, a lot of insights that we can get from dreaming. It may not look the way you think it is. I know it hasn't always for me. Sometimes having nightmares or even night freezes over certain things are like, not the best thing, not always the best experiences. But our dreams do offer that opportunity to say, I did not consider this possibility in this situation, or maybe there's something that I thought I had laid to rest in my life. Maybe just piece with a family member. It could be an issue with a friend. Like I said, I mentioned a lot, like a job, your body, whatever. And a dream can also give light to that. So our dreams offer this kind of wisdom and this awareness, as I mentioned just a little bit earlier on another slide, on the previous slide, that that just my opinion, personal opinion, because I do dream a lot, offer us at this time. And particularly at this time. I know I keep saying that, but this is a great portal of opportunity. So again, paying attention to your dreams, inviting more wisdom. Even as you go to sleep, you can ask yourself if there's some sort of wisdom and insight that you can gain from X thing or X experience. And you might get something, or you might get something totally different, but definitely ask and just see, what wisdom do my dreams offer me? And just as much as dreams offer wisdom, we get possibilities. In this picture, I'm not sure, it looks like a brain. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, or a molecule, maybe a water molecule, something like that. But the possibilities that dreams offer, the space, the awareness, the consciousness that dreams offer, when we're going into these realms and these different dimensions and portals, and we're just like, what? I mean, some things are really, really wacky and really crazy. I'm sure all of us have had something like, what in the world was that? And how does that have to do with anything in my life? And sometimes it does, right? You see something really crazy in your dream time, and you wake up the next day and somebody's talking about it, or you see something as you're going by, like, oh my gosh, that was related to my dream. Who would have thought that, right? So dreams offer endless possibilities. And to me, it's like it offers the endless possibilities that this whole life experience really is, right? Because yes, we have a waking world, and there's things we do in this waking world, but when we go to sleep at night, or during the day, there's still other things that occur, right? Your body's asleep, but your consciousness is still awake. So that's still movement and moving around. And well, if you want to say moving around, I don't know if that's the way to put it, but I'll just say your consciousness is still active. Your body's not, but your consciousness is still active. And that brings up, again, all kinds of possibilities, especially because when you're not awake, your conscious mind particularly is not awake. So there's not like the mind getting in the way of trying to control things or trying to limit your possibilities. When you are asleep, or when you're in dream time, those realms, those doors are far more open to what is possible. And as I keep saying, you could use that as inspiration, you can use that as awareness. It could help you take action in a certain area, or pause in another area, or you might just use it to enjoy flying, enjoy skiing, enjoy swimming with whales, or something else that may be totally impossible in this waking world that we all perceive ourselves to be in. So that is leading to this level of endlessness. I love this picture. I could not tell you if I remember what the name of this is. And of course, I should have written it down. Such is my life. Please do laugh. I laugh at myself a ton. If there's anything I would encourage you right now to do, is watch funny things that make you laugh. Laughter it just busts the bubble on anything in life. Never knew I'd be talking about dreams and laughter in one moment, but I think I was having somebody tell me, I think it was an aunt tell me, someone else if it wasn't my aunt, then someone else was telling me that sometimes they wake up out of their dreams and they're laughing, right? You could be. Sometimes we wake up scared, laughing, crying. More laughter. Please, 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 more laughter and more kindness. Gosh, more laughter, more kindness. But as I said, with dreams, there is a level of endlessness, at least in my experience. It's an awareness that, well, life is continuous. Our bodies may end, but depending on your perspective, that doesn't mean you as a being end, or you as your spirit ends. But that depends on your belief structure and everything. But what I found is that it kind of opens up a very interesting door of possibly living forever. Well, I think there's a part of us that does live forever. and that continuousness of life. And as this picture shows here, it is kind of that spiral of endlessness. And where do the possibilities end? I mean, essentially, they don't. So the cool thing about dreaming is there really isn't a limitation when you are asleep. There is no boundaries. So there is like this sense of endlessness, or there might even be a better word than endlessness here, or limitlessness, right? There's nowhere you can't go. There's no one you can't be. So that is another cool element of dreaming. For some, that might be a little bit scary. I know sometimes it is for me, because it's like, okay, when am I going to wake up? If I want to get out of a dream, I know I'm in a dream, and I can't wake up. I can't wake myself up, right? But while the dream world has this level of endlessness and limitless, it doesn't mean that things stay the same forever. So we all do wake up eventually in more ways than one. So it's not like when you're falling, you're going to continuously fall forever. That's just in life generally, and also in a dream. You do wake up. You do get back up. So that's what also I'd be a reminder of. Don't be afraid to fall asleep. I know some people purposely don't want to dream because of things they don't want to see, or they're afraid they won't wake up because they've had kind of, I guess you might say traumatic experiences before. And I've been there too. So sometimes I will say a prayer, ask for help or something like that. Just like, okay, I'm going to tell myself I'm going to wake up. But just know that you will. You actually have nothing to fear in life, and nothing to fear in this world. It's something that we're told to have fear and to be afraid of this and be afraid of that. And it's okay. It's something we've all had to deal with, but kind of like life, whatever it is you're going through, if you're in a dream time and you're falling, you will get back up and you will wake up. Our beautiful earth. Wow. And just to mention, we are going to be in a full moon very soon. So by the time I upload this video, might be about the full moon. So switching gears from dream time to earth time. How do you move about the earth? How do you move about the earth? It's an open-ended question. It is a question that I was asking myself probably a month or two ago, just because there's a lot of spiritual concepts about being grounded, being in your body, and things like that. And it's interesting. I found it to be an interesting perspective because people have different perspectives on that. And it's like, well, part of the question I ask is, what is one's relationship with their body, right? How do you move about the earth with your body or in your body? Because everybody's body is different and everyone moves differently. And I will show you some examples. And I want to present them to that so that, hopefully for some of you listening, it might give you some possibilities of your uniqueness and how you move about the world, how you move about in your life, so that it's not just the same like drudgery all the time. I kind of get the point about being grounded, quote unquote, but there's a lot of things that want to be said about being grounded. Like, what are you grounded to? Are you grounded to, this reality? Are you grounded to somebody else's reality? Are you grounded to what's true for you? Are you grounded with your body? Are you grounded to the heart of the planet? So I would say ask more questions about that. And so the question I ask is, I've asked for myself, and I'd ask anyone who's interested, is how do you move about the earth with your body, in your body? How does your body move about the earth? What is actually most natural for you? Do you walk upon the earth? Do you float? Are you a floater? See, there's more than other ways. Like, and you don't have to take the picture seriously. This is not like you have to walk this way kind of thing. I'm just using a picture as an example, but some of us do. We walk. But do you float? You find that when you move, when your body moves, you're kind of like floating about the world, right? And just so you know, this isn't right or wrong. This is just saying, okay, wait, what's true for me here? True for me here. Do you dance? Now this is more me. I realize I actually dance upon the earth more than I do walk. Sometimes I float more, but do you dance upon the earth? Do you find that your body actually enjoys a dance? Not a particular dance, but you know, there's a particular rhythm. And yeah, try it out. See what dancing's like for you. Not that, again, you could dance in public. That's a wonderful thing to see what that's like, or dance on your own. But is your body in more of a dance as it moves about the earth, as it moves about in your world? Do you surf? Again, not literally surfing, but whatever that energy is of surfing for you. Especially right now, some of us may just be like, okay, I'm just going to surf the wave of what's going on. I'm going to surf the wave of my life. And, let the waves of the water carry me. So I'm going to go with the flow, right? Are you one who tends to surf? Are you and your body who tend to surf upon the earth? Or do you fly? This is my kind of thing too, right? I like to dance on the earth. I like to fly up on the earth. Are you somebody who just likes to fly? Like, yep, I float, I fly. My body and I tend to pretty much be like flying. I look like I'm walking, but I'm really just soaring through the air. So many different ways. And there might be another one here that I didn't list. But this is an invitation, like, yeah, be with your body. Everyone has a different perspective and point of view of what it means to be grounded in your body. But how do you most naturally move about the earth? What is easy or ease for you to move? Because it could be flying, it could be surfing, it could be dancing, it could be floating, it could be walking. It could be maybe you do all of these things, or maybe you do none of them, or maybe one more than the other, right? I just want to present that possibility that the way you move about the earth may not be the way other people move, but that's what's true for you, and to always choose what's true for you. What gives you more ease, what gives you more space, what gives you more fun, the way you move. And if you notice, when you move naturally, what's true for you, how do things show up? Is that things tend to be easier, they tend to be more fun, enjoyable? Because right now, I think the more joy that we can have, the more happiness and kindness that we can have for ourselves, the better off this world is going to be. Again, how do you move? Walk, float, dance, surf, fly, something else? Your choice. Or you could also be skywalking. Skywalking is another opportunity. Maybe you're just not on Earth at all and you're just somewhere up in the stars, which that can be me too sometimes. Sometimes I think being out in space would be a lot greater place than being on Earth right now, some moments. But no, Mother Earth's a beautiful place. I'm not going to leave. I'm not going to leave the planet just yet. Not my time. Not my time to go. So skywalking, this is my galaxy according to Micah Tidbit. As I mentioned earlier, I did another post that's covering some of the cycles now with the Zolkin and then the Mayan moon calendar. So there's more about that, and then I'll post another one. But essentially, we have a full moon on Monday. No Duran Duran, since it's not a new moon on Monday, it's a full moon on Monday that is coming up. So as usual with full moons, a lot of stuff happening, fun stuff, huh? Fun stuff. I think everyone knows right now what full moons can bring, but it's not all bad, quote unquote. It can be cool stuff too, a lot of energy, but again, how do you move about the earth, right? Do you walk? You can just float through the whole thing. You could fly, you could dance, you could moonwalk through the whole thing, right? So the full moon on Monday, and then on the earth herself, September 22nd is the fall equinox. So now we're dipping into fall. We're shifting into fall. And if you're in a space, a place where you have 4 seasons, your body's probably going to experience it more than, maybe some other places that are warmer or colder year round. But that is something else that's going on. I was also on a call where I heard that the Earth's Schumann resonance, which you can look up the Schumann resonance, but it's kind of known as the Earth's natural heartbeat. That changed. That did change. She being Mother Earth did shift in that way again, which I had heard would be happening since, like I said, the galaxy is going through its changes. We've got this age of Aquarius that you may have heard of. I'm sure most of you have. Again, if not, I won't labor on it too long, but it's basically you might say an astrological or astronomical shift that is impacting everyone, where some of these old programs, these old ways of operating in society are falling away to something that is more, honestly, I would say more freedom, independence, yes, but also more like interdependence. When I say realizing the connection that we have to this earth and to each other, that does not mean sameness. That is more about recognizing all of our uniqueness and how our difference is really what creates more and creates a better planet than, everybody doing the same thing and everyone choosing the same thing. I think that was more like the quote unquote old reality of let's look alike, let's act alike. A lot of some of these things, how we, like our relationship with money, our relationship with self, our relationship with spirit, like all of that stuff is part of that change. And more awareness, definitely greater awareness, greater consciousness. People are, I don't want to say they're more spiritual, but I guess more open to things to do with quote unquote spirituality. There's that, but this is more than about spiritual stuff. I mean, this is like greater levels of consciousness, again, individuality, and honestly, something that is really beyond words. But it's a different world. It's a welcome change. It is because the way this reality is operating right now is like, yeah, no, that's a no for me. So, but sometimes change can be really uncomfortable and look really crappy as it does right now. So, but like I said, the age of Aquarius has begun. It began, I think, at the end of December 2020, when that interesting alignment happened with like Jupiter and something like that. So it's begun, but it's not like you're going to see this whole like, oh my gosh, the stars descending onto Earth. Although I don't know if anybody really liked that, but you know what I mean. Things still have to grow and evolve over time. And as I've seen, some of that stuff involves some growing changes and growing pains. But when we see that going on in the world, there's also, again, I keep mentioning portal of opportunities, a chance to change things for you and see if life starts showing up differently. And I really mean I really mean that. It really is about being in the world, but not of the world. Choose kindness, choose peace, choose gratitude, choose calm, and be kind and be calm and be peace for you. Because that's the only one. You're your only support. You're your only stability is really with you. If you're not choosing for you, no one else can choose for you. No one else can do that. And it's not that life is not supporting you, that spirit isn't supporting you, the universe, you are. Like I said, we're in this, it's more like I call it interdependence. And you can see that out in nature, right? How much the trees provide for so many beings, for the insects, for the birds, for all kinds of animals. And gosh, nature is just a perfect example of looking at interdependence, where each creature is unique of its own and also contributing to each other for that. So that's what I mean by interdependence. You have your uniqueness, and and that part contributes to the whole and everything else. And the whole contributes to you in kind. So that's what I perceive at the moment of Age of Aquarius. We are nowhere near the heart of that right now. I think there are some things that are dissolving, and it'll be, I suspect it'll be for the better. It doesn't look like it right now, but since when does change ever look better? In the beginning? As Eckhart Tolle says, no one awakens in their comfort zone. And as I mentioned with this piece here, touching a new reality, when crap happens, when things happen, we do have a choice. We can look at it as like, okay, well, my life is just going to continue to be this way. Or I can ask, I love this question. I didn't come up with it. But you can always ask what's right about this I'm not getting. That's actually from Access Consciousness. You can look them up. They have some really cool stuff. And you can also look at, you know what, maybe there's an opportunity here I haven't considered. And because we're in a new age with the individuality and people being more of them and that being more supported, it's an opportunity to create a new reality for yourself. That isn't like, what other people or other institutions are telling you to do, right? Because this old reality we're in, it's like, you got to do what everybody else wants you to do. There isn't really, we've seen people before, like, you know what, I'm going to choose to be me no matter what it takes. And, some people have actually lost their lives for it. And now we're shifting into a space where more of that's going to be possible for more people to choose that and actually be more, I would say, you might find more support or more people like you. We're like, yeah, I'm going to look at my life a little bit differently this time. I'm going to look at my job a little bit differently. I'm going to look at my body a little bit differently. I'm going to look at the relationships I have a little bit differently. And differently could be, I'm just not going to buy into the drama anymore. Differently could be, I'm going to have more space in my life. Differently could be, I'm just going to enjoy things a little bit more and not take life so seriously. So we are at the hands of a new reality, and each of us individually can choose to have that. And, it just starts with little choices. Maybe I wake up in the morning and instead of looking at my phone first, I just sit in silence. Or I listen to the birds. I enjoy the sun if it's out or whatever the weather is. It could be that simple as the way you wake up in the morning. And when you go to sleep at night, again, you could be looking at your phone or perusing through social media. Maybe you still choose to do that. Maybe you don't. But it's actually creating new things starts with the little stuff, the things that we deem to be so mundane. It's the way we eat, the way we brush our teeth, the way that we approach our work. I do want to say this. So many of us tend to wait until some special magical event to happen before we quote unquote wake up, before we, before we wait for something significant to happen, before we're like, yes, this is it, or, I've made it, and because I was the same way. I really think life is ultimately telling us, really appreciate the little things in life and be aware of the space you're in. Do you really sit and enjoy a plant? Are you, focused on what the next thing is going to be? Can you really be at ease with the way things are? Or are you stressing about work when it's a Saturday and you have no work to do? You know, it's really those little things and those opportunities that we miss. It's like, you know, to be present in your life and actually really be able to receive how grand life can truly be. Like the whole experience of having heaven in a wildflower. And you can really choose heaven at any moment. Doesn't mean it will be heaven at any moment, but you can have it at any moment. And no one has to make that happen for you. You just have to, each of us has to start being aware that is possible. And it's in the little choices that we make. It's in our motivation for the choices that we make. Be motivated by kindness, being kind to you, being more at ease, having more peace in your life. And even if it's just in little places, maybe it's just you're more at peace with making coffee in the morning, right? How many of us rush to make our coffee because we got to go somewhere or do something? What if you just have peace making your coffee? Totally little things, the little things. And so I'm going to go into a couple other things to, you know, keep aware of. And when it comes to, you know, each of us, our ability to create something new, even from those quote unquote little things that we deem so insignificant. First being eye of the eagle. I use, as you can tell, a lot of animal and nature spirits and imagery because real talk, I talk to trees. So I figured, well, I'm gonna keep them a part of my life. And I like listening to birds in the morning and all kinds of stuff that people might find weird and quirky, but I find I'm much happier being weird and quirky. So I hope that whatever weirdness and quirks you have, you can be happy with that too. Because if you're not happy with you, it doesn't matter what anybody else says, you're never going to be happy. So be happy with you. That's another lesson. A whole lifelong experience being happy with you. I'm going to have to experience that my whole life, and so will you all listening here. So be happy with you, number one. Two, eye of the eagle is, I'm just presenting this as an invitation to look at things from a greater perspective. Oftentimes, especially when people have a lot of stress in their lives, they like shrink their perspective. They're like, we get very easily in our heads, our thinking gets turning, and you know, thinking doesn't get you really much anywhere. That's a different story for another day. But your thinking gets turning, and you basically shrink your capacity, your awareness to basically, well, one, to be at ease with everything. Because if you really want to be at ease, I would say, you know, expand out your perspective, take a break, give yourself some space, right? But just like catering into the stress. I mean, consider what it does to your body. Your body gets more stressed, and that stress is one of, like, basically the number one cause of disease, essentially, right? And you just cannot perceive opportunities, possibilities, solutions to things when, you know, we're all just so caved in and locked in because of stress or something that's really constricting. And I think everyone listening knows in some ways what I'm speaking of. And if you were to look at how an eagle, like this picture here, and when an eagle flies, I mean, they have a completely different eyesight, greater eyesight than human eyesight. Yeah, totally. But they see things from a greater perspective, literally a higher perspective, right? So they have more space between, you know, how high they're flying and the ground. So this is that kind of, you might say, metaphor or symbol of ways in which we can look at things from a greater perspective, the eye of the eagle, which the eye of the eagle is very sharp. It can see from far away. It also doesn't use any sort of thinking, right? It's just pure awareness and poise and precision and all the things like an eagle does, right? Like very skilled hunters, just awesome predators and awesome avian beings. So if you've ever had the blessing to see one, pretty awesome stuff. Or just whether you've seen it in person or on TV. So Eagles are a great example, or really most birds are a great example of looking at things from a greater perspective. So seeing things from the eye of the eagle, expanding out your perspective, as opposed to just suddenly locking into the trauma and drama of life, or that the trauma and drama that you think is your life, or that you think is life. Take a step back, give yourself some space. Give yourself, because space is a really great thing, right? I'm going to give myself some space. I'm going to put it down right now. I'm not even going to think about it, and then just see if there's something that shows up for whatever. So part of that, again, the tool you can use, I'd say, seeing things from a greater perspective, the eye of the eagle. And let that awareness, let the space, perceiving things from a greater perspective, show you something different. Sometimes it's really what you need is space. And you realize, you know what, maybe it's not that big a deal. Maybe whatever that thing is that's bothering me can wait. Maybe I can ask somebody else to help me out with this. Maybe there's another way that I can approach it. Something of that nature, as opposed to us just being locked into the constriction and the tightness and all of that. We don't have to operate like that. We really don't. There's nothing to fear. If you just choose, have more ease, choose to be kind to you. I'm going to keep saying that. Choose to be kind, choose to have peace, choose to have calm. Everything always works itself out. But expand out, look at things from the eye of the eagle, from a greater perspective. And then awareness, pure awareness. I can't really define awareness other than, again, when you look at things from a greater perspective, you're probably going to get things from more awareness, having more space in your life instead of just trying to dive in and be identified with whatever's going on in your world that's giving you that, that constriction and that tightness. I use trees as an example because if you just sit with the tree, just from my experience, they are full of awareness. It's pretty much Mother Earth is just full of awareness. And honestly, like literally go out in nature. Just go out in nature, be out in nature. And if you just allow yourself to be at ease and be at peace, put your bare feet on the earth is a really wonderful thing to do. Place your hand on a tree. Place your forehead on a tree too. I've done that, and suddenly like all that stuff going on in my head just wasn't turning anymore. Trees are really amazing at processing stuff in the air, but also just processing like our crap as well. I don't know if any of us can really realize the magnitude that trees play in our lives. And that's just what they function for. They have so many, they serve so many different beings, insects, birds, and us and this earth. So if you want to learn some awareness, or at least get an awareness, just be with a tree. Because having more awareness about anything and everything in your life, especially right now, and stepping away from, taking the moments to step away from identifying with the crap and whatever that stink is in your world, that is a great gift. Because yeah, we tend to be people who fall into problems and junk and like words I'm not going to say here because they're 4-letter words, right? But that doesn't mean they have to stay that way. There's always another possibility. There's always another way. And when we are taking our time to step back, you can go out in nature, take a break. Give yourself the space. I keep using that word space. I'm using a lot that word space, but I'm telling you that's helped me, and I certainly hope it will help you to give yourself the space you deserve, the space your body's probably asking for from whatever it is that may be bothering you. Because awareness is gold. It's priceless. It won't only help you with things that may or may not be working in your life, but it also may give you awareness. Awareness gives you more awareness. That's good. I guess is what it does on so many other things in your life. I mean, if things are going great, still go out in nature. Nature can make your life even greater. I mean, gosh, being out in nature only upgrades your life wherever you're at. So if you want to get more awareness, happiness, joy, peace, and calm. Like talk to a tree, hug a tree, or just be with a tree, be out in nature. It'll totally upgrade your life. It is the greatest upgrade. And well, we are in, you don't have to be by a tree, right? We're in this planet. We are in Mother Earth. We're in a really, society is like, thumbs down. But this planet is like in a really amazing place. It really, really is. And I see that more and more in my life, and I hope you see that more and more in yours. I think Mother Earth has a very different perspective on things, and I'm grateful that she has allowed our humanity to still be here. Whether we deserve to also be here or not, I continue to be grateful that she has allowed us the space and the possibility for all of us to create something different. Because if you look at how she operates, again, this beauty of everything being its own thing and everything being supported. You know, an eagle can be an eagle, a cardinal can be a cardinal, an ant can be an ant, a tree can be a tree, and a lily or a dandelion, whatever. Everything is just being what it's going to be, and everything is living as it's going to live. And this whole interdependence, this whole amazing network of life is supporting each other, contributing to each other, growing, evolving, changing together. And let's not forget, we're all a part of that. No matter what this world tries to tell you, we are. I mean, our bodies are made up of the earth. It's a gift. As crazy as things can be in life, sometimes you have to remember, we too are a gift to the earth. We're not a problem. We are a great gift to the earth. That being said, it's everyone's choice to perceive their relationship with the earth as they see it. This is just my perspective. But I invite you to see that your life has a greater, is a greater gift, not just to your family, your friends, your coworkers, but also to this planet. It is more than just, recycle and reuse and stuff, but like, you actually being here. It actually is. It actually is a gift. And speaking of that gift, as just a reminder, especially as we are all growing, evolving, and changing differently and having different sparks of awareness and different insights about our lives, about each other, that you and I, well, as the picture says, you are the butterfly. You are the butterfly, not the one holding the cocoon together. I should have quoted this from, I can't remember the person who gave me this quote, but, and it's not an exact quote, I'm just kind of paraphrasing it from what I heard. But it is basically saying that oftentimes, basically I'm saying is, you are the butterfly, not the one holding the cocoon together. Typically when we go through, some people call it awakening. I think that word is used a whole lot, probably more than I would. But when our lives go through changes or upgrades, for example, like I said, change can be kind of crappy at times. No one awakens in their comfort zone, as Eckhart Tolle has said. So when that happens, the change that is changing is usually the way we used to operate. So when you start to choose more from a place of peace, from a place from kindness, the things that gets ruptured are the places where you chose from stress or judgment. And when those old structures start falling apart, you become more aware of them. And it's like stuff that's always been there, but you didn't realize was there. And now it's like coming up in your face. And I know for me and maybe some other people, you kind of start to get frantic because it's like, oh my gosh, what happened to me? I started making these different changes, and now all this crap is coming up in my face about me. I'm starting to be more aware of where I've been unkind to myself. I've been unkind to others, that's the awareness. That's the cocoon breaking away to reveal you, the butterfly. But what can happen is that cocoon, as those old form structures break, because it can be at times a bit intense, overwhelming, we're trying to fix it, right? We're trying to make ourselves wrong for having these things, or trying to put it back together or fix it. And not realizing, okay, all that stuff is supposed to be let go of. Yes, it is intense. Yes, it can feel like a whole life review. And you may think that, oh my gosh, I've totally screwed up my whole life with the choices I've made. And you start judging yourself for your age or whatever that is, right? But all of that is actually the part that's falling apart. And you don't need to keep that stuff together because you're the butterfly. And oftentimes you see if the butterfly breaks from the cocoon, it's completely different. And this actually reminds me of another quote that I got on a mug. I don't know who said it. I think it's anonymous, but I think we've heard this one. We've all heard this one before. It goes, just when the caterpillar thought the world was over, it became a butterfly. And isn't that the process of our growth and change? We're going through, we continue to go through these different changes and phases because we're all at different places in life. And yeah, when the cocoon breaks, when all those structures and all the things we thought we were before start to fall away, it's like, it can be really intense and not fun. And like, where did I go wrong? Blah, blah, blah. I'm such a bad person, blah, blah, blah. And none of that's true. None of that's true. It's just the stuff that's actually falling away. And that happens when you start to make different choices that, one, like I said, I keep talking about this, are about kindness, peace, calm, things that, make your life greater. When you add more happiness to your life, when you add more ease to your life, when anything that enriches you, right? If you start adding more of that, yeah, you're gonna look at the ways, you're gonna see the ways that you weren't always making those kinds of choices, and it can be overwhelming. But those are the things that are falling away. They presented themselves to you like, hey, this is how you used to be, and you just, again, be kind to yourself, be easy on yourself. But essentially, it's like letting that go, letting the cocoon fall away, because you are the butterfly. That stuff is revealing the butterfly as you, who you truly are. Who you truly are, which, doesn't necessarily have a description, but who you truly are is, and who we all truly are, is definitely happier, healthier, more whole, more fun, more joyful, more unique than who we've sold ourselves to be. And I know that might sound like a blanket statement for some, and that's okay. If you have something else specific that you'd like to be, and you can totally be that. But just know that we are all in one space. We really already have the happiness, the ease, the peace, everything. All of that is actually available to us now. Like our uniqueness, that's actually our natural state, our natural way of being, and that's already available to us now. And as we grow and evolve, only more of that will show up. So it's not like, you got to go out and try to be somebody different. No, it's really allowing those old forms and structures that prevented you from seeing that fall away. And that part can be very intense. And I'm telling you, because I've had that experience. But what I'm also telling you is that you will know yourself as the butterfly, and you will be able to see and perceive things as they truly are. And there is nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to worry about. No one awakens in their comfort zone, yes, but everybody ultimately awakens. So we're all good. No matter what you're going through, no matter what, it always works out. Usually always works out. Yeah, pretty much always works out better than you imagine. It always does. It always does. And if you need to, you can always phone a friend, ask for help, ask for guidance. Even someone like me is here because I've been through a lot myself, but remember, you are the butterfly, and the cocoon will fall apart. Just let it fall apart, let yourself blossom and let yourself fly. And cosmic design. So I didn't know if I was going to do more with this or not. This is actually my picture. This is actually a picture I did for once in this episode. So, yes, okay. Mind blank, another laughing point for Micah. This is a sunflower that I took, and I did not write down the name, but there was a really awesome sunflower like barn garden that I went to with some family members and family member friends in Ellicott City, Maryland. And I had no idea there were so many different kinds of sunflowers. Sunflowers, I didn't know. My sister's a sunflower person. Her friend is a sunflower person. I know of sunflower people. I love flowers. I never considered sunflower being a signature flower for me because I'm more like an orchid lady. But this was an awesome experience. And this picture doesn't really capture it, but if you look at pictures of sunflowers, you can actually see this really amazing cosmic design that they have in their center. And this one has a bee on it. You can't really see it, but that cosmic design you've probably seen somewhere before, and like in adult coloring books and mandalas. And again, it's just another example of how nature is amazing. Because I mean, it really is a cosmic design. You can find that design in the sunflower and other places. I think it's also part of some other sacred geometry, just pretty incredible. And the farm itself and just seeing so many different sunflowers was, I guess I always thought they had like one type of sunflower. I didn't know there were so many. So I really enjoyed that experience. And just seeing the cosmic design that's in the sunflower, the cosmic design that's in nature, and really interestingly enough, how these, people call it sacred geometry, but how they always show themselves in different ways. Like I said, in flowers, in numbers, and in cornfields, right? I think that's in trees, right? There's some really, really cool stuff that nature presents us. In our bodies, we probably have a cosmic design. I think our cosmic design, our bodies do have some very interesting geometry and design to them as well. So I wanted to put that in there because, I mean, we are each a divine cosmic design, or however you want to call it. But life is pretty amazing, and again, we are each pretty amazing as well. We probably just judge ourselves so much we aren't able to actually see it. But I wanted to present that because I think it's pretty awesome and a good reminder just how fascinating life really is. I think we have reached about the end of our journey this time. This is an amazing picture again. I did not take this. I wish I did, but I'm really grateful I found some of these stock photos because I think they really capture a lot of me and the essence of the message that I'm always looking to convey. It's more spark, more possibilities, more inspiration, more magic. Things that, might be different, unique, and maybe even welcomed in some spheres or circles. So I wanted to end this episode of Life Off the Page with a poem that I wrote. I think I'm going to see if I can do poetry as much as I can in these. Since I still do write. I have a new perspective on writing. I like writing my own things. But this is a poem that I wrote to kind of round this up and also end kind of our theme about the night, about opportunities, about greater awareness, and also being kind. Oh, glorious night, how deep is your darkness that heals me. Very simple, very straightforward. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for receiving. Again, more kindness to yourself, really, really giving yourself the kindness that you deserve, and choosing something greater in your life, even if it's how you wake up in the morning, the little things, because each and every one of us has the opportunity to create a greater reality for each other individually and a greater world. So let's take that opportunity and see what we can create, see what possibilities and other wonderful things show up. All right, I will talk to you all very soon. Another episode will be up probably in a week or so. So again, thank you very much. Ciao, bye-bye.